everyone, and welcome to another edition of AHSAA Weekly. I'm Susan Carruthers, and before we jump into what has been another exciting week in Alabama high school athletics, we want to take a moment and pay tribute to longtime AHSAA Director of Officials Greg Brewer. After that, we'll talk with Opelika head football coach Eric Speakman, who's been selected to coach the South in this year's North-South All-Star Game. He's a former University of Alabama standout and NFL tight end drafted by the Detroit Lions, who later played for the New England Patriots. We'll also catch up with Handley High School running back Jamarius J. Haynes and head coach Larry Strain to talk about Jay's incredible 476-yard rushing performance and his 505 total yards in last week's 54-41 Class 4A Region 4 win over Jacksonville. We'll continue our introductions of our Making a Difference recipients by introducing you to Class 3A recipient Coach Steve Reeves of Winfield. And finally, as always, we'll close this week's show with everybody's favorite video highlights from last week's high school football and volleyball action. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AmFirst Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AmFirst Financial today. You'll thank you later.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
We are so pleased to welcome to the program today Coach Eric Speakman of Opelika High School, who has recently been named the South Coach for the North-South All-Star Game this year. Welcome, Coach Speakman.
Hey.
So glad we could have you today. First of all, tell us a little bit about what this honor means to you.
Well, it says a lot about our kids and our assistant coaches here. You know, anytime you are named, I guess, the head coach of any All-Star game, it says a lot about the kids that are on your team and your assistant coaches, because this is certainly not a one-man show.
Well, and I know you have been an assistant before, I believe back in 2018, so you've had some experience doing this before, but for those that may not really understand the process and how this all works, explain a little bit about how it goes picking the teams and also picking your assistant coaches.
Yeah, well, you know, the AHSAA names the two head coaches, and then we get to select two coaches from each district. So I was able to select two head coaches from District 1, 2, 3, and I'm in District 4, so I couldn't pick anybody from our district. And then after the Alabama-Mississippi All-Stars are selected, we'll take the list that was nominated for that game and select the players to represent the North and the South.
And this game has a long history. This will be the 64th year that it's been played, first being played back in 1948. There's a long list of incredible football players from our state that played in this game. A few of them: Bart Starr, Pat Sullivan, Ozzie Newsome, Terry Beasley, and our very own AHSAA Director Alvin Briggs. Tell us what you think it means for a football player to be selected to play in this game.
It says a lot about their playing ability and what the coaches think about those kids to nominate them. First of all, to even be nominated for the game, it says a lot about the kid. And then now that the game's moved to December, I think it has a little bit more of an importance to the kids than it was back when the game was in July. So many kids now report to school early. We weren't getting some of the better players to play in the game. But now that it's a December game, you're getting the cream of the crop that doesn't play in the Alabama-Mississippi game. We're getting those kids to play in this North-South game.
And I understand that the North won last year, although the South does hold a slim edge, and I know you hope that continues this year. And the game will be played Friday night, December 16th at the University of South Alabama. Besides that, I guess what you're focused on right now is your season there at Opelika. How's it going so far?
So far, we're 3-0. We've got a big test this week with Phoenix City coming in. Luckily, we play them at home. It's always a a big time home field advantage here at Bulldog Stadium. And, Coach Nix has a great team as he always does. So far, our season's been good, but we'll have a huge challenge this Friday.
Well, we wish you all the best this Friday and also congratulate you again on being named the South All-Star Coach. And we just thank you again for joining us today.
All right, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you. And now AHSAA would like to pay special tribute to retired Director of Officials Greg Brewer, who passed away after a short illness on Friday. AHSAA Executive Director Alvin Briggs had this to say: "While it truly saddens us all, we are thankful to have known Mr. Brewer and recognize the impact he had on AHSAA, its member schools, and thousands of officials that he mentored and trained throughout his career." He went on to say, "Our hearts and prayers go out to his immediate family, our own AHSAA family, and to the officiating family he helped create across the state." Brewer was a native of Florence, graduated Bradshaw High School and the University of Alabama. He began officiating in 1976 and joined the AHSAA as assistant director in 1985. Some of his outstanding achievements include service to the National High School Rules Committee for baseball and football, developing the state district director program, the state pitch count rule for baseball, which is one of the nation's best, and high school officiating courses being used by our member schools today. Even in retirement, Brewer didn't stop contributing to Alabama high school athletics. He co-founded the Alabama Sports Officials Foundation and started the Officials Hall of Fame. Brewer was inducted into the Alabama High School Sports Hall of Fame, the Alabama Sports Officials Hall of Fame, and received the NFHAS Section 3 Citation Award and the Alabama Baseball Coaches Association Distinguished Service Award. While his legacy lives on, Greg Brewer will certainly be missed by many in this state and beyond. We'll be right back on AHSAA TV Weekly.
Retirement planning, investment planning, education planning, ad valorem, blah, 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 blah. Financial planners love to show their version of a perfect retirement, but what about your perfect retirement? At AM First Financial, we'll get to know you first, so we can make a plan for the person you'll be years from now, and future you will be glad we planned ahead. So call AM First Financial today. You'll thank you later.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Alabama. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the AHSAA.
Welcome back, everybody, to AHSAA Weekly. We are thrilled now to be joined with Coach Larry Strain from Handley High School and outstanding running back Jay Haynes. Welcome, guys.
Well, we're happy to be here.
Thank you. Well, I understand some magic happened in your game last Friday night. Jay, you had over 500 yards total offense. Coach, have you ever seen anything like that from a single player?
I've never seen anything like that from a single player. I've seen several guys that's had 200-300 yards. And I remember Matt Campbell at Alexandria that had a big night that was similar, but nothing in the magnitude of what Jay Haynes did Friday night. No, ma'am.
Well, that's amazing. Jay, I'm going to have to read these numbers. For your touchdowns, we have 86 yards, 58 yards, 52 yards, 72 yards, 54 yards, and then I think you had a reception too. So, they may sign you up for the cross-country team with runs that long. What was the secret? Did you just, you had the juice that night?
Yes, man. I mean, basically, it was just my linemen and my receivers and butt sniffers. Everybody was blocking well, and good things happened.
Well, that's great. Coach, I understand that your teams have been noted for high-power offenses. So is this what you go for? Is this what you hope for after every practice?
Well, we hope for, to have a young man like Jay Haynes to start with. You talk about how good he is as a football player, but he's a better person. And Jay's the type kid that's on the field that he wants to make sure everybody gets the credit for everything that goes on. And just like he said just a minute ago, it was a team effort type thing. Our offensive linemen were blocking well, our wide receivers were blocking well. And if you give Jay Haynes a chance, to get out and get in space, he's very, very dangerous at it. And, he's just a very talented young man. I'm tickled to death that he's on my team.
I bet you are. Well, Jay, tell us a little bit more about you. Do you come from a family of football standouts?
Yes, man. My father was a very good running back. He set records at Watley. And it's just like, I don't know, it's in my blood, I guess.
Well, do you play any other sports?
Yes, ma'am, I play basketball and I run track.
Okay, well, as outstanding as you are, Coach, you can answer this one. Is Jay on any radars for any recruits in college?
Well, I think that he went to the Auburn elite camp this summer, and they timed his 40 time. And correct me, Jay, if I'm wrong, but I think he run a 4.4 on the laser. Is that right, Jay? And I think Coach Harsin kind of chased him down there. And from that point, Coach Saban has had him in his office, and Kirby Smart. He's been at Georgia at that time too, but he's got no offers at this time. But those offers will come at some point.
Well, you've obviously had a great start to your season, Jay, and really for the whole Hanley team. Coach, what does the rest of the season hold for you?
Well, we just went through a gauntlet of three very tough teams that play in Valley, St. James, and Jacksonville. And then we got three more that's coming up, some very talented teams, and that Jay will be a big part of whether we're successful or not, and as well as all the other guys on the team, no doubt. But I'm looking forward to seeing Jay run the football. He has kind of been behind another running back that is now at Troy, and Tay Matters, and the year before that, Devontae Higgins, who's at UConn. So we knew how talented Jay was all those years, and so we're just excited now he's the one getting to touch the football.
Well, that's great. We congratulate you both on all of your successes, and we wish you the best the rest of the season.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you.
And next up this week, we continue our introductions of our Making a Difference recipients by introducing you to Class 3A recipient, Coach Steve Reeves of Winfield High School.
I grew up in Colbert County, and I graduated from Sheffield High School. My inspiration, I guess, to go into teaching and coaching started early on. By the time I got to junior high school, all my coaches were classroom teachers, and they were excellent teachers, and they were role models, and I admired them, and I thought that that might be an avenue that I might pursue when I got older, based on the fact that I truly wanted to emulate them. And they were excellent teachers and excellent coaches, and as a result, that's what coaching is. It's really just an extension of teaching. I've been at Winfield for 42 years, and when I first got there, I knew that it was where I wanted to be. It's a special place. Winfield it's given me all the tools to be successful in my coaching career and my teaching career as well. Anything that we needed in the classroom or anything we needed sporting-wise, it's been just a super collaborative effort from our state representative to our superintendent, to our Board of Education, to our principals, to our other teachers, and of course our other coaches as well. And in that regard, I've had some great assistant coaches in track and field that have contributed mightily to the program. The biggest rewards for me have been when the children get that self-esteem that they've might not have had otherwise. Track has 18 different events in outdoor, and we can find something for all the kids, and we want them all to be successful. And in doing so, that's always a great reward to see them become successful and gain that self-confidence that they might otherwise not have had. Also, it gives me a great deal of pride and pleasure that some of our children are awarded athletic scholarships. Right now, I think we have 5 kids doing track and field, and from Division I through Division III at the present. I saw Trey run, I can't remember if it was in the 3rd or 4th grade at field day at the elementary school. We were getting ready to go to the state track meet, and we were loading up our equipment, and they were out on the track running, and I saw him outrun every child in the elementary school, and I thought at that point in time, this kid could be something special. And indeed, when he got to the 7th grade, I thought that, he could continue to be something special, and obviously he has been. Trey was a catalyst for getting our program over the hump. We'd had a successful program in the past, but hadn't won any state championships until Trey came along. And then he inspired all the other kids to be successful as well. And they just continued that program, or carrying the program, to where we are now. Well, we teach our kids every point is important. Every half of a point is important. We lost a section track meet one time by half a point. And we instill in them the idea that, yes, you can contribute. If you finish in 8th place, you have contributed to the program, and that's very, very important. And we like to build on that and have their self-confidence to improve, and that's what's happened. You can win most meets if you had, with 18 events, if you finished in 6th, 7th, and 8th place. I think that's about 108 points, and those points are just as important as the first place points. Well, at Winfield, academics are just as important as athletics, and like I said earlier, good coaches make good teachers make good coaches, and I think that's been the secret at Winfield, is that the expectations have always been high, and the kids have always lived up to those expectations. It's why we've been successful academically and athletically as well. As I said earlier, I've been given all the tools necessary to be successful at Winfield, from the top to the bottom, from everyone that's involved in the program. As a matter of fact, this award truly belongs to those people. They have, you can't do it all by yourself. And the state representative to the superintendent, the Board of Education, our administration, the principals, our teachers, many of our teachers are track officials. And of course our other coaches, they contributed as well. We share athletes, and our other coaches have been great at sharing athletes with us in track, and I've had great assistance as well. And then of course the parents. The parents have done everything necessary for us to be successful, and I can't praise them enough. And they truly want not just their child to be successful, but all the other children as well. The greatest thing that we can do for the kids is to get them either athletically or academically a scholarship to help the parents, financially. Also contributing greatly to the success that we've had at Winfield has been my wife. She has never once, in all the time I've been coaching, ever complained about the amount of time that I've spent with the kids.
The perfect checking account doesn't exist. Not at a bank, that is. So why do you keep looking there? At AmFirst, you can get no minimum balance or monthly fees, an instant issue debit card, and free checks with unlimited check writing. But who doesn't want more? Like a rewards program you'll actually use, and convenient digital tools that make it easy to manage your account from anywhere. Now you could try and find that at a bank, or you could save yourself the trouble by checking with us.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This week's AHSAA video highlights put together by coordinator of social media David Holtzford may be the best yet. We want to thank the NFHS Network school broadcast programs and WOTM TV's outstanding camera operators for making these videos possible each week. Now let's jump right in and see the best of the best from this past week. What a game we had in Central Alabama as we start you off with Pike Road hosting Wetumpka in a Class 6A Region 2 matchup. Wetumpka quarterback Nathan Rogers, who had an incredible night rushing for 240 yards, started the scoring in this one, running 74 yards for the opening score. Rogers would finish with 3 touchdowns, rushing on 14 carries. One of those long distances covered 78 yards, helping give Wetumpka the late lead. However, Pike Road had its own Rogers in the backfield, Anthony Rogers. The Pike Road speedster had 295 all-purpose yards of his own, including 3 scores. With under a minute to go, Pike Road quarterback Caleb Foster connects with Anthony Rogers on a slant route over the middle, and then he outruns the defense for a 72-yard game-clinching touchdown as Pike Road holds on for a dramatic 35-33 Class 6A Region 2 win. The first this season for last year's Class 5A state champs and the first in Coach Ed Rigsby's tenure. We move south to the Wiregrass for a Class 2A Region 2 battle at Hartford between Ayrton and host Geneva County. Ayrton running back Jordan Smith started the scoring with a 2-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Smith would finish with 37 yards on the ground and 3 short touchdown runs. Quarterback Ian Sin was 12 for 17 passing with 234 yards and 2 touchdown tosses in one night. Landon Tyler caught 4 of those passes for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brox McCray also caught a 61-yard touchdown pass from Aiden Garris, and visiting Ayrton wins 43-14. Westminster Christian of Huntsville hosted North Jackson with junior quarterback Brandon Mush shining once again. He led the Wildcats with 363 total yards and had a hand in 7 touchdowns. Mush was 19 for 33 passing with 242 yards and 5 touchdowns and added 122 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And pushed him up the ladder to 26th of all times with more than 7,000 career total yards. Owen Lockett led receivers with 3 catches for 93 yards and 3 touchdowns as Westminster improved to 2-0 on the year, winning 55-39. Defending Class 7A state champion Thompson High School opened Region 3 play versus Vestavia Hills, still looking for its first win after 2 tough losses to nationally ranked out-of-state competition. Warriors quarterback Zach Sims, just an 8th grader, delivers a 29-yard strike to Corbin Deuce Williams, and Caleb Harris follows with an interception, returning for a touchdown as Thompson jumps out to a 13-0 lead. Rebels quarterback John Paul Head cuts the lead to 13-7 with a nifty 15-yard scoring run, but the Warriors would prove to be too strong. Thompson scores 3 times in the third quarter en route to a 34-14 win. 2021 Class 6A state runner-up Hueytown hosted Brookwood High School in a Region 4 battle at Hueytown as the Gophers celebrated homecoming. It proved to be a big night. Hueytown's offense looked like the offense of 21, which scored a state record 775 points in 15 games. By racking up touchdowns on their first 10 drives Friday, on the way to a 67-13 victory. 5 were passing scores and 5 were rushing scores. Gophers quarterbacking sensation Earl Woods finished 9 for 11, passing for 242 yards and 4 touchdowns, while adding 44 yards on the ground. Receiver DeAndre Franklin led the Gopher receivers with 2 catches for 71 yards, both touchdowns, and added another score with a 4-yard run. Next, we move to volleyball action, and first up is Montgomery Academy hosting Brubaker Tech last week in Central Alabama volleyball action. Sophomore Ellie McBride led the Eagles with 13 kills in the match, 4 digs and 2 service aces. Addie Vinson had 10 digs and Caroline McDaniel added 9 kills as Montgomery Academy captures the 3-0 win. Pelham hosted John Carroll Catholic in Birmingham in a very competitive battle that had one of the longest single rallies in recent AHSAA history. The point included 76 touches combined by both teams, several amazing saves, and took 1 minute and 47 seconds before Pelham's Cameron McMim ended it with a shot over the net that was returned out of bounds. McMim led the Panthers with 19 kills in the match. London Wynn and Avery Smith would add 13 and 11 kills respectively to help the Panthers with the 3-1 win. Wynn also had 5 aces as Pelham improved to 14-5 on the year. Next, Bob Jones High School visits Westminster in North Alabama volleyball action. The Lady Patriots got a big night from the AHSAA current kills leader, Kennedy Vaughn. She finished with 16 kills in the match. Rachel Mecklenburg would add 11 as well as serving 5 aces. Meg Jarrett would also have 15 digs as Bob Jones goes on to win this one 3-1 over Westminster. And now we close with the excitement from last week's AHSAA TV Weekly WOTM Game of the Week, Mountain Brook versus Minor High School, with commentators Mickey Shadricks and Coach Rick Rhodes describing the action.
They got their running game going, they got their play action game going. It was all Spartans.
Yeah, I mean, this set the tone for the entire night. A couple of runs, or about 3 or 4 runs outside, and then this deep crossing route for a score. Mountain Brook did not let up at all. Just beautifully executed plays. Great touch passes by our player of the game, John Colvin. Here's the third one right here, and you can see all these passes right on the money, just like we've said all night. And the Spartans never looked back.
Jumping out to a 21-0 lead. Then they added this touchdown in the second quarter, 28-0 at one point there in the first half. And then this was the one bright spot for Minor as they get the tip ball, and Parsons, the big defensive lineman, bringing it back inside the 10. Then Keys and Jackson connect on an outstanding throw and catch.
Yeah, they really do. And this is the bright spot of the night for Minor. And you know, it's really ironic that a team that had been so explosive, their really only explosive play of the night is what we just saw, which was an intercepted pass by their defense. And of course, this is a nice run by Gamble to set up yet another Mountain Brook score. That running game so punishing.
And then here is another long touchdown run as Mountain Brook really turned up the yardage in the running game in the second half. And we caught up with the winning coach, Mountain Brook's Chris Yeager, after the game.
You and I have met with under several different roles, wearing a lot of different hats. Chris was a 205-pound center when I was an assistant at North Alabama. He was the line coach for us at Troy State. We won a national championship. Now I get to interview you. There's a lot of questions I'd like to ask you, young man. That's for sure. No, I just I'm
going to get out of here.
No, I just want to compliment you on the performance tonight. Just really great. I thought your game plans on both sides of the ball were exceptional. I thought your defense really never gave them what I thought was a pretty good Minor offense. Never gave them a chance to really ever get started. Any thoughts on any of that?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And let me say this too, Coach. I would not be standing where I am tonight without you. You've been, number one, you gave me incredible opportunities, number one as a player, then as a coach, and you've been a great mentor along the way. So, you know, I'm the head football coach at Mountain Brook, a lot to do with you. Like I always tell you, if it weren't for you, I'd be back on the farm back in Fairview, Alabama. So thank you, Coach, for your kind words.
But I mean, I know you know I love you, sir. I really do.
Well, the feeling's mutual, Coach. One thing, you know, that I thought was good tonight, John Colvin, you know, did a really good job managing the offense. A lot of times people underestimate the ability to manage the offense. And I don't think that our offense, with the stuff that we do, the shift in motion and stuff and the checks and everything that they do, it's not the easiest thing in the world to manage. And, you know, he does an incredible job getting people lined up and getting the ball where it's supposed to be, taking advantage of what they give us. But anyway, I was really proud of his growth tonight too. You know, you would love. He's your kind of guy, Coach Rhodes. You'd really love, and you'd enjoy coaching him, and you'd enjoy coaching those running backs as well. They're a lot of fun.
I think anybody would.
Don't forget to send David your highlights at the email address on the screen. And don't miss another show next week. We'll see you right back here for AHSAA TV Weekly.